Hugh Jackson was hired by Grambling back in December.
Yeah.
And he's putting his staff together, obviously. And one of the names that popped up, I believe it was yesterday, was Art Briles as the offensive coordinator. Now, for those who need some context to this, Art Briles was fired in 2016 from Baylor due to a campus-wide scandal where the university and the football program had basically turned a blind eye to sexual assault and domestic violence, something that I believe to be egregious right to my core. And so here you have one of the most historic HBCU football programs inviting Art Briles in to essentially mentor young men. It is disgusting to me that we are to this point, and I want to give you each the floor just to share some of your thoughts, because I know this one kind of shook us all when we heard the news of it.
Brooke, I'm going to give you the floor first.
No, I mean, I'm not a former collegiate athlete, but as just a woman, and I was in college, and, you know, I've experienced men sometimes, you know, approaching me inappropriately, and you have to handle it accordingly. But this is, like you said, this is a coach, this is a mentor and a grown man that turned a blind eye to his players' actions, and they were sexually assaulting young women. And the fact that the NCAA looks past it and Grambling looks past it and is giving this guy an opportunity to hold that same position, it's, like you said, it's disturbing, it's disgusting, and it's insulting because for me, I am somebody that strongly believes in integrity, and there is no integrity in this situation, that you are valuing winning over, you know, setting the right example for young men.
It's disappointing and it's unacceptable. And for me, somebody at Grambling State has to say, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And the fact that we get here and now we have to talk about this as being a thing is unacceptable. I think for me, like, these are the most serious allegations, charges when he was the head coach at Baylor. And it was not something that was small. This was at the forefront of the sport. And for me, if I was a parent, I don't have any kids, but when that time comes and I have a son that wants to play football, I want people to be around my child that knows that things are wrong and that will do the right thing. I think for a lot of parents of players at Grambling State, you have to be concerned. Like, if you think this is okay to hire this person, somebody who was in charge in 2016 at Baylor when all these things were going on, turn a blind eye to it, what else are you going to turn a blind eye to?
That is the question to ask. And you can go back with Hugh Jackson to 2016, where he did make comments about Art Briles and the situation that had happened there and tried to separate the two, which I think is impossible to do, but eventually invited him into the Cleveland Browns to be an analyst or whatever the case was. You know, I think this shows how small Hugh Jackson's coaching tree is too, which makes you question how fit he is for the coaching job there. But I want to bring a little bit of history into this conversation, because HBCUs exist for a reason. They were a safe haven for black people to get higher education in a time in America where it wasn't always available. And HBCUs have been on the forefront of social issues at times. You can look back to the 1930s when Jewish people were fleeing from Germany. Their educators were invited to teach at HBCUs because they weren't able to teach at other universities in the Jim Crow South, in other locations across America, because they weren't welcome. There was a fear about Jewish people. HBCUs invited them in, their best. But you can also look at other cases where HBCUs haven't been on the cutting edge when it comes to women's issues. And I think this is reflective of how we think about issues of race and social justice in general. It's through a very masculine lens. And so this right here shows you how much people are willing to overlook our counterparts, our female counterparts, people that we love and that we support and that we care about, because they want to win some damn football games. And I literally cannot stand it. And I really do think that this is a stain on a very historic program that has been on the cutting edge of doing the right thing and creating a platform for people that deserve it. Art Briles doesn't deserve to be where he's at right now.